We're here on a snack run and getting drinks while we're waiting on our lunch. I'm about to buy this spicy gluten alien man snack thing. I don't know what it is. We just bought some drinks and some snacks, and now we're gonna go eat noodles, I think, from a guy who's cooking it in a shack. The chow mein, the chef, and the kitchen. How amazing is that? And then my motorcycle guide. We decided on where we're gonna go now. We're gonna go to Lugu Lake, which is about a 4-hour-ish ride. But since I need to get used to the bike, that might take a bit longer. Also stopping to take pictures and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna get started here in a second because it's already noon and we wanna make it before the sun sets because we still have to find a place to stay and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get going. So Sun pretty much made me repack everything because she said I did a terrible job. Now we're all packed up and we're gonna suit up, get ready, and we're gonna go get some food, and then we're gonna start the journey. But yeah, we're pretty much ready to go now. Just setting up our Bluetooth. What are you doing? Still getting used to the size here. And immediately we make a quick pit stop because Sun noticed that her front tire needed air. Well, immediately we came to a stop back at one of the motorcycle shops because Sun needed to put air in her tires. So that's currently what we're doing. And with everything settled, we officially begin the journey. The immediate start wasn't so lackluster, and if anything, that's something I'm pretty happy about. By this point in time, I've probably ridden the bike for about an hour or so max. I was pretty nervous about the size and weight of the bike because turning this thing was much different and, at this point in time for me, much scarier than anything else I've ridden. Fortunately, the ride was incredibly smooth and easy. Unfortunately, my GoPro was pulling my helmet down, and instead of showing you what's directly in front of me, it showed a lot more of the motorcycle than I was hoping. We ride for about an hour and a half before we make it to our first break of the ride. We made it to our first stop for now, and we're just here to check out this view. Riding the bike has been really cool so far. Getting used to the weight has been interesting. Taking turns, you actually have to like lean opposite to the bike to, or at least I have been, to try and like feel more comfortable from falling. I don't know if that's the correct thing to do, but it seems to be working, so I'm gonna keep doing it. This gear is cool. The bike itself is really fun to ride, even though it has all that stuff on it. Yeah, but now we're here hanging out and checking out this view really quickly. And then I think we'll probably get going soon because it's a cool view, but it's not the coolest view apparently. So, well, to her, but I'll flip the camera and then show you guys. But yeah, so far so good riding. We still have like quite a bit to go, but I'm pretty into it. That's the road that we were taking down there. So that's pretty neat. There's like a little market here with food and stuff like that that you can check out. So something I just realized is that I forgot to return my guest house's key card from this morning. So, oops. Continuing on, we ride scenically through the mountains as we make our way towards Lugu Lake. The weather in general was extremely hot that day, which was nice compared to the rainy days we've had before, but pretty unbearable in all the motorcycle gear. Once you were riding and the wind was blowing, everything felt great. What was different than riding through Southeast Asia was also the fact that Sun had the brilliant idea of attaching Bluetooth receivers on our helmets. That way we could talk to each other and communicate without needing to hand signal or stop riding. The receiver is also connected to our phones, so we were able to listen to music while riding too. While it wasn't the best sounding speakers available, it was an amazing thing to have, and I seriously can't believe I didn't think about doing that while I was riding in Southeast Asia. I just normally put my AirPods in, and well, this was much more convenient, let me just put it that way. After about an hour into this leg of the journey, we run into our first real problem. My motorcycle ran out of gas. It turns out that through a giant miscommunication, the motorcycle shop owner had told me that he put fresh gas into the bike, and I just assumed he meant he'd given me a full tank of gasoline. What he had actually meant was that he had changed the oil. and made sure that that was fully topped off for me. So what that means is that nobody had filled up the motorcycle with gas before we left the city. My gas icon was just literally a digital square, and since I hadn't seen the gauge at a higher level, I didn't realize how low or how high the gas actually was. I just assumed it was a square that would gradually get smaller, but I was completely wrong. And soon we found ourselves stuck in the middle of the road without gas. This is the first time in my life I had ran out of gas like this. We had actually passed multiple gas stations along the way, so it wasn't like I couldn't get gas at any point in time. I just literally didn't realize I was out of gas. Fortunately, Sun was prepared and was carrying a straw and empty water bottle for exactly this purpose. She always keeps this in her bike because you never know when you run into a stranded motorcyclist on the road like this. After quickly siphoning 2 water bottles full of gas into my bike, we were off and riding for the next gas station. At the gas station, I got to practice my terrible Chinese by asking the gas station attendant to fill up my gas tank. And it got me to start reflecting on just how wild of a thing this all is. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've been thinking this is a pretty crazy experience, but it was really starting to hit me just how crazy it all is once I left the gas station. I mean, the views, the location. If you had told me a year ago I would be in the middle of China riding a motorcycle through Western China with somebody I had met months prior, I'd probably think you're crazy. Eventually, we make it to the entrance to Lugu Lake. Apparently, the lake area is treated like a national park and you need to pay for a ticket to enter. What's annoying is that the only way you can buy a ticket is through your phone on WeChat. What's even more annoying is that apparently I'm not allowed to buy tickets because it requires a Chinese national ID number, which I clearly don't have. There's no actual way around it. Putting my passport number didn't work. When I tried going to the attendant, they even were like confused about the fact that I wasn't Chinese. There was actually no way for me to get into the park without having Sun with me. And fortunately, Sun was able to just buy 2 tickets and they were able to let us in through that process. But it was actually kind of eye-opening seeing how this is such a big place that you would think that they would kind of have something facilitated for international tourists. It looked like that they had never had an international tourist here before because they were completely dumbfounded with what to do with me. Moving on, we continue our scenic ride through the hills. Our next order of business was to find a spot where we can park and hang out. We need to find a place to stay the night. Both of us also want to go and take in the view. We figured we could do both at the next pretty vantage point. Sun and I just parked on a random spot on like this side of the road because we saw a really beautiful enclave, so we're gonna go check it out. This view is so gorgeous. Like we parked literally right there. We made it to Lugu Lake and it is so beautiful. Over there is probably the village where we're gonna stay in, or town. I guess you can call it a town or village, I don't know. I don't know how many people live there, but it's so gorgeous and calm. Also, one thing I guess I kind of realize now is if I use any Western app to try and book a hotel, I'm only going to get things that are like almost double the average price of the hotel in the area. So Sun's going to have to do all the hotel booking and looking on her Chinese apps because I'm kind of useless on that front. I mean, I could use the Chinese apps and download them, but I wouldn't be able to read them because they don't have an English version. So it's kind of like, you know. We made it to the village that we're gonna stay at tonight, and now we're gonna walk around and try and find a hotel, mainly because we didn't book one and we think we can get a cheaper one if we just walk around and ask. It's also super beautiful here. I mean, check it out. It's really calm and super peaceful. This building especially is dope. I need to get a picture of this. Whoa, so cool.
有便宜的有贵的都有。
现在还都有
标间的是。
没有，我们要2间房。
2间的有，我带你去看看。
好。
有双人床的。
为什么这边现在没人了？我记得我之前。
This happens a lot where people just start talking to her and we just go with them. It's pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably been my favorite part about being in China so far is just kind of being along for the ride and not knowing what's gonna happen.
一生开遍哟，一生湖，离山。
The next morning, we wake up early to fly Sun's drone for the sunrise. And by we, I mean me, because she still doesn't know how to use this thing, so I still need to show her. Unfortunately, something happened when transferring her footage to my hard drives because they seem to have gotten corrupted, and I didn't notice this until when I was trying to actually edit this video, which is honestly such a big bummer. That footage actually looked really cool. It was a gorgeous sunrise. I think now the plan is to get some food and just hang out and check out the town. It is super pretty here this morning. And I don't know if you can hear the music. I don't know what that music's for. This boy here scared the living shit out of me last night when we were trying to shoot the stars, and it was a huge fail. But he scared me so bad as I was going through my my trunk trying to grab my tripod. He came up and started growling at me because he didn't know who I was. But now look at him. He's so sweet and happy, just enjoying the breeze. What a cutie. We are wrapping up here at our hotel for the day, and Sun and I are all packed up. We're gonna ride to pretty much like the other side of the lake and get a hotel there. Sorry about that truck. And it's supposed to rain later, so we don't know how good the weather will be. Down here used to be a hotel that those people are walking around, but people don't stay at the hotel anymore because apparently bad luck came and hit the hotel, and they started having a bunch of bad things happening to them, one after the other. So they stopped letting people stay in the hotel, and they actually moved the hotel over to the village that I was staying in. So the hotel ended up being down there where those other buildings are that kind of match in the color, like that brown color. But yeah, pretty interesting that just because of superstition and a string of bad events, they decided just to abandon a whole string of hotels. Sun and I parked at a stopping point here along the lake, and I'm taking some pictures, and she's looking up for a place where we can go crash for tonight, because even though it looks really nice now, there's like a lot of clouds coming, and apparently it's gonna storm tonight, so we kind of want to find a place before we get rained on. But the drive so far has been super scenic, and I'm like constantly blown away by how pretty it is here. There's flowers blooming everywhere. It's really, really nice. And everybody's just so friendly. Everyone's always saying hello. Probably because I'm the first white person they've seen here, so that might be one of the things. All the way down there, you can't even see it anymore, but even if I zoom in, yeah, all the way down there, you see like the little dot? Past that is where we stayed last night. And then we're gonna move like around these mountain areas, and there's like more lake, so we're gonna make our way down there. We just stopped, and we're here to check out a cool bridge. The Marriage Bridge, or also known as the Lover's Bridge, is a unique cultural landmark located on Lugu Lake. So the lake straddles the border between the Sichuan and the Yunnan provinces and is home to the Mosul people. The Mosul people are a matriarchal society, and the bridge plays an essential role in their traditional walking marriage practice, where romantic relationships are built on mutual consent and do not require formal marriages or cohabitation. Sun just spent like 5 minutes haggling over apples, and we're on our way to check out this bridge she was telling me about. So this is the entrance to the bridge, and they have really fun signs like pay attention to fire prevention and civilized tourism, and no, literally, and no stalls. The bridge, which is honestly just this modest wooden structure, connects one part of the lake to another, but it symbolizes the freedom in relationships and is often where lovers would meet to visit each other without societal restrictions. Mosul culture emphasizes female leadership and autonomy, making the marriage bridge a symbol of independence and romantic connection for the community. These days, it makes a really cute date spot. We ended up like talking about it for quite a bit and deciding that doing a 6-hour ride in the middle of the afternoon was probably not the best idea. And we also talked about plan and route and stuff like that. And we have time, and there was no point in rushing it, you know? So we ended up finding a hotel that's like pretty much right on the lake, and the plan is to hang out and watch the sunset and fly drones and yeah, get food, and then probably just wake up kind of early the next day and make our way to the next city, whose name I am completely blanking on while shooting this, and I'm not gonna do another take, so you guys are just gonna get what it is.